What up, everyone? So, moving on with the reviews. We got Comic-Con box. So, a box... Pup's getting excited. A box that I wanted to review early on this month because it's on the verge of being canceled. It's getting too expensive and it hasn't been good lately, so I wanted to make sure I reviewed this box early on in the month, so if it doesn't go well, I can cancel my subscription before I get charged again, because I might be charged any second. And if this box isn't doing it, then I'd rather not pay $40 for a box I don't want. But let's take a look. So this is their last chance, so I hope they're here to please. Stop. Hey. Stop it. Crazy pup. Getting all my business. Stop. Alrighty. So, first off, looks like we got a shirt. So let's take a look at this and see what we got. So Comic-Con box has kind of been known for their vibrantly colored shirts. Alright, so it looks like a parody of the Batman-Superman movie that just recently came out. So it looks like an old-timey boxing poster. Looks like it's from like the 30s or 40s, and it's a play on Batman-Superman. So that's actually not too bad. It's not necessarily a crossover. Technically, it's a parody, so that's another way they can undermine copyright law. I'm not a huge fan of them putting their logo like really big on there, but it doesn't stand out too much. Excuse me. It doesn't stand out too much, so it's not too bad. And the quality of it's pretty nice. They actually have always had pretty nice quality shirts. It's always the concert tee ones, which are actually pretty fitted and they're decent in quality, like as far as the feel and touch of it, so not too bad. So I think I'll give that a 7 out of 10. It's pretty hard to wear like these bright, like vibrant red shirts. They're kind of hard to wear out and about. It's better for neutral colors, but you know, I get it, they're trying to mix it up. It's kind of weird when all boxes are doing like black t-shirts, but you know, that's still cool. I appreciate that. I don't mind that at all. Alrighty. Next. Go away. You want to come up here? Come on. Nope. So next, we got a pop figure. And it looks like the soldier from Batman-Superman. One of the soldiers. Some light in there. There we go. So I can only assume that you have the option of other figures, because I wouldn't imagine they would only put the soldier, but that's just my guess. I won't know till I get to the card. Next, looks like we got some socks. Some Batman socks. And it looks like they're kind of like the athletic socks because they're thick. Kind of like the ones I'm wearing. I have one similar to that I'm wearing now. Like Superman ones. That they actually have some like padding to them because they're for like running and stuff like that. You get? They're for the, what was this? Yeah, they're for like running and athletic stuff like that. So they're actually pretty nice in quality. And they have some good texture to them. They're not like super thin, cheap socks. They actually have some thickness to them. And Pup wants the socks. It's so funny how he's like just out of frame here. You can like just barely not see Pup. There we go. Alrighty. Next, looks like we got a notepad. So just a standard Batman notepad. Got some line paper. It's got a magnet on it. So I'm guessing this is just like a to-do list. Got a magnet on the back, and it just has some pull-away sheets. So, alright. Nothing super special about it. That works. Then, we have a Superman poncho. Interesting. I don't think we've ever received a poncho in a box before. Is my camera focusing? So I think this is a first, getting a poncho. But, you know, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Alright, Superman poncho. That'll do. Next. Looks like we got our information cards here of everything that came in the box. Then, we got a comic. This looks like Batman number 50. I'm not sure the relevance of that. I don't know if it's a specifically rare issue or anything like that. I don't think so. Doesn't look like it's exclusive. Just looks like Batman number 50. And speaking of number 50, we got Superman number 50. So I'm assuming they are related in some aspect because they are obviously in the same pose. They're both number 50. So I'm sure there's a tie-in of some sort there. I won't know till I read it, but I can only assume that there is. Yeah, okay. So we got two comics, none of which look like they're exclusive. Both number 50. Alrighty. Then, speaking of which, we got a little print in here. Come out. of those two comics side by side. So now I'm guessing even more so there's a tie in between these two. And it has their little logo on there. I don't know if you can necessarily call this an art print. They just kind of put the two comic covers together. So that works. Then, got what looks like another art print, Robot Cowboy Samurai. There's a little information card in there from what I saw. Yeah, so that talks about it a little bit. I'll read up on that. I'm guessing that's a new type of comic or something like that. Anyway, so I'll read up on that during the break. But that was all the items in the box. So, gotta say, personally not too impressed with it. I'm surprised we didn't get any kind of exclusive comic or anything like that. So, okay, we'll take a short little break, and then we'll come back, talk about some value, and give this box a final rating. See you soon. Alright, we are back. Let's talk about this box. I found out some very interesting information, so I am happy to share it with you. First of all, the shirt. Like I was saying, 7 out of 10. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a decent design. It's not a goofy crossover. It's kind of a joke, but I'd rather it be like a parody than a crossover, because most crossovers just look weird. And the color's kind of outlandish, but you know, I think it's still decent. I like it. And it'll get the standard $12 to $15 value, as all shirts do. Then, the pop figure. So, oddly enough, I found out that they only gave this pop figure, which is a terrible choice. Of all the figures on the back to choose from, you have Batman, you have Superman, you have Nightmare Batman, Armored Batman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and then you get this fucking Superman soldier who's in the movie for like 2 seconds, the most random obscure character ever, and that's the one they decided to put in there. My guess is they got a bunch of these, like, bought them in bulk, and got them at a ridiculously cheap price because nobody else wanted them, and they put that. Which is, I think, is a terrible choice. I don't know why they would pick this character of all of them. That seems like a very lazy, poor, and cheap choice. So, I'm not a fan of that choice. But the value on this is $8, and that's being generous, because you can easily find it online for about that price with free shipping, plus no tax. So, the very, very poor choice. Putting a pop in there in general, that's common, but this one specifically, like, terrible choice. I'm very surprised about that. So, there's that. Speaking of terrible choices, we have a poncho, a Superman poncho, which is only it's only useful depending on where you live. And even still, even if I live somewhere where it's really rainy, like Chicago, I'm assuming, like that's gloomy there all the time, or in like London where it's like constantly raining, I still would not wear a fucking poncho. An umbrella would be more relevant, but I can't imagine wearing a poncho. And this isn't a super high quality poncho either. It just literally is a piece of plastic with the Superman logo. I mean, at least it has the Superman logo. It's better than not having it, I guess, but a poncho, very odd choice. And much like some of the other choices they made, very odd, very just random. Seems like things that they got at a major discount because it seems like stuff that nobody would really ever want. Now, moving on. Ta-da. So our little to-do list with the magnet on the back. This actually goes for more than I thought it would, a decent amount, like $7 or $8 on this, because it is actually branded by DC, and it's got magnets. I guess that's a good price. It seems like a little high, but it goes around $7 or $8. So it is what it is. And then the socks. These are going to go about 5 or 6 from this brand. It is actually really nice, because often when we get socks, they're very, very thin and very poor in quality, but these are actually nice, they're thick, they got some padding to them, and they got a cool design on them. So the quality of the socks is actually pretty nice, surprisingly. But the value on that's going to be $5 or $6. Then, our print. So they're the prints of the comics, they just put them together. I didn't see a specific artist tied to this from what I could see. It just looks like something that they put together themselves, so I don't know if you really call it an art print per se, but I always give these like $3 or $4 because that's how much it would cost to print it, and it really is no value other than that. No artist, no signature, no number tied to it, so it's really only worth like the paper it's printed on. And then this guy right here, I wouldn't even call an art print. This is more of an advertisement. So it seems like they have a description card in here, and it seems like something they're trying to promote. From what I can tell, it is a card game, and it just seems like something they're trying to promote. So honestly, this wouldn't be an art print, and even if it was, it's very low in quality. So this probably seems like a partnership they have, which I'm assuming we'll probably see something from this company in a future box. But it just basically is a cowboy, a robot, and a samurai. And I'm sure they're going to do a comic series and try to make money off of it, but honestly, it doesn't seem high in quality. And I noticed there was a typo in there. There's a big like space in there where they legit just forgot to put letters in one of the words. If my camera will focus, you'll see in there. Where is it? Yeah, right here. It's supposed to say fighting, and they forgot the F and the I in there. There's just a space, and there's missing 2 letters, which just speaks volumes. It just kind of goes to show for what this company's been doing lately. They've just seem to not put in the effort. Like something as simple as that, where no one even checked to see if something was spelled right. There's obviously a big space in there, and something's spelled wrong. So they're not really doing a good job promoting this. And so yeah, I'm not giving any value to that because in my eyes, that's just seen as an advertisement. So that's everything with the exception of the comic books. Now here's where it gets interesting. So I said these did not look like exclusives or anything because usually when they are, it'll say it right in the corner. They stamp their logo all over everything like most boxes do because when something is exclusive, they want people to know that. They put their logo on it. They do not have their logo on it, but I actually read that these are exclusive books. So I found it kind of funny that they didn't put their logo on it. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me in any way. I'd rather not have the logo on it. But these are actually both exclusive books. So they are related to each other. That's why they have the same pose. They're both number 50. And this is one of the comics that has a bunch of variant covers from different sources. This box being one of them. So these are both exclusive covers. Now the price is where it gets more interesting. The Superman, on the low end, this was costing about $20. $20 to $30 is what I saw it not only listing for, but actually selling for. Sometimes even more than that. And there weren't a lot of listings on there. And that's usually where the comics get their value. Not only that they're exclusive to a box, but it always has to be a box that isn't that popular. Because if it came in like Loot Crate or something like that, there are literally millions of copies that go out. So the fact that it's exclusive doesn't really matter because it's not rare at all. Now Comic-Con box is much doesn't do as nearly as many boxes because 1, it's not as well known, and 2, it's very expensive. So only a select few people get this box. So when they do have exclusive comic books, they actually do hold a lot of value because there's just not that many of them out there. So they do have a very high resale value. This being no exception to the rule. So this was selling for about $20 to $30. Now the Batman comic book was actually selling for a lot more. I was a little confused on that because I would imagine someone buying one would buy the other because they kind of go hand in hand, just like the print shows. But this one was actually selling for much more. The only listings I saw for this were for $50 for this one book. Now, I thought that was a little weird, so I was going to give this a $20 to $50 value range because I thought it should be valued right around what the Superman one would be. But I actually looked it up, and it was selling for anywhere between $20 and $50, but it was actually selling for around $50, being sold for that much, people paying that much for this one issue. So it is actually somewhat sought after. So anywhere from $20 to $50 is what you'll find this book at, which I found very interesting. So, overall thoughts on the box. Pretty much everything in this box was garbage. It was total crap. I thought everything on here was low quality. The items weren't bad, at least they were branded, so that's a good thing, but a lot of useless stuff. Like the Pop figure, it was just like the most random character they could pick that I doubt anyone would have been excited to see, especially from that movie. Like the lamest character they could possibly pick, and then most of the other things like the poncho and things like that, it's just like, who would want that? But then we have the comic books, which are extremely valuable and actually pretty rare. So it's like, man, it's so hard to get a read on this box because this is what they've been doing, and this is what we've seen before. They've put in exclusive books, and they actually have had a pretty high resale value just from being in the box and being exclusive. But everything else in here is garbage. So here's the value. On the low end, this box was $80. On the high end, $124, which is crazy considering what crap we got. The only thing that held it together was these 2 comic books, but they were really great comic books. They're exclusive, hard to find, and very valuable. So it's kind of hard to give this a value. Even on the low end, with like the resale value of these items, you got double what you paid for. And on the high end, you actually got around triple what you paid for, which is kind of crazy. I don't think we've ever had such a high value from this box. Now, granted, it's not guaranteed that you would get those prices that I listed for these comic books, but people have. People have sold it for that amount, and people have paid for that amount. There's no guarantee you would get that amount. There's no guarantee you'd get $50 for this, but for the Batman one, I wouldn't be surprised if you could get at least 20. Same with the Superman one. So this box kind of seems like it's focused around like one main thing, usually the comic book, which is not crazy considering it's a Wizard World Comic-Con box, but the rest of the stuff is just kind of there. So it seems like they're focusing their attention on the one item, and then everything else is pretty much just filler. So it is what it is. As far as the rating, I'm going to give this a 6.75 out of 10 because the value is quite tremendous. But the only reason the value is so high is because of those two books, and that's it. Everything in there had pretty much zero value and was just kind of there. They're like not really small items compared to normal boxes. I wouldn't call those filler, but compared to the rest of it, it is filler compared to the comics. So it's so hard to say what I think about this, and I'm not sure. I still kind of want to cancel it because it is a lot of money, but if they're putting comics in there of that high of value, even if I don't like the box, I could literally sell one of those comics and get my money back. So it's very hard to judge this. They don't always put exclusive comic books in there, so again, I guess I'm going to give them one more month to see what they do. I hope they bring up the value of the other items, but I can't exactly complain about having like very rare comic books. I think that's really cool. So yeah, again, let me know what you guys thought about it. Basically, I'd want to know what you guys would want this box. Like, would you pay $40 to get like 2 really rare comic books and a bunch of shit? Would it be worth it to you, or would you just pass on it? So anyway, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to help you guys out and help you decide whether or not you would want this box. And yeah, so very high value, rare comic books. Everything else was shit. So I'm assuming next month will be pretty similar. We'll probably get another exclusive comic book. The value probably won't be as high, so the $40 value is still pretty hard to come by. This month it did okay, but we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure I'm too late to cut it off for the month of May anyway, because now we're officially in May, and this is usually the first box of the month, so I might have already been charged for it, but I will check and see. So anyway, this has been Comic-Con Box. 6.75 out of 10, 7 out of 10 on the shirt, high value, low quality. Judge for yourself. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Thank you for watching. Love you all. Peace.